Hey everyone, how's it going? In this video, I'm going to be talking about how we manage local groups in the RHEL 9 system. So the first thing we're going to look at is we're going to look at some of the files that we're going to be referencing throughout the video. Okay, so the first one that we want to look at is going to be the etc. It's going to be etc g or group like this. Okay, and here we can see some accounts that we have that we made, or groups that we've made: accounts, staff, super user, admin. So all of these I just made up, so we can clear that. Then the next one that we want to look at is going to be the G shadow like this. Okay, and now if we want to understand what these sections and columns mean, what we can do is we can man 5 shadow like this. Not shadow, it's going to be group like this. And then here you can see the fields are as follows, right? Okay. And then we can do the same thing for G shadow like this. Okay. And again, it just goes down the list of what those columns mean and what those sections mean. And now if you're wondering where I found those, what we can do is I can show you. So normally when I'm learning something or want to know more about a file, you can look it up in the system itself by just searching for a keyword. So for example, here, a bunch of stuff related to group, right? You can see group, because that's what I used as my keyword. And in this example here, if we wanted to find that file, right, G shadow, for example, is here, and then it tells us which man page we can look at. Shadow like that. And then same thing for that file, user group file. So you just man 5 and then whatever the keyword is. Okay, awesome. So now we can clear that. And so the first command that we want to look at is going to be the group add. So as always, group add, and just go ahead and look at that man page. And we can see here we have all the options, and we can also see what it means, create a new group. That's what we're going to do. So we're just going to do group add. And if you notice, I'm root. So let's just get in the habit of doing things under root. Okay. So we can do group add. And then what we're going to do is, let's just call support. So we'll say group support like this. Okay. Simple as. And then what we want to do now is we want to add some users to this account. So we can do that in multiple ways. The normal way that we want to remember how to do is we can do this AG user mod, and then we can do, see, now in this moment, I forgot what the flow is, right? But let's say if we want to add Jose, have a user named Jose, and we want to add him to the support. Let's see if that's the way to go. Okay, so it should be the other way around then. Okay, so we can do support, would be the group, and then Jose, like that. Perfect, cool. So when something like that happens and you draw a blank, you can always just go back to the man page, right? And we can do like this. We can scroll down and we can see, so we have a append, and then also up here shows us the options as well, right? And this way here says options and then login. So first your options and then the login at the end. Okay. Another way we can look at help, it should be user mod, and then if we just press enter sometimes and you just leave no arguments, it'll give it to you. But you can also do the H option, right? So we can do like H like that, and well, the same thing pops up. We can do like that, okay? And then a lot of options pop up. But we've successfully added Jose to that support group. And how do we know? So we can check like this. So we can go back to our cat command, right? But just by going up, and we can do group like this. And then you can see Jose here has been appended to this other one. What if we want to add another user? So one thing that we can do is we can go here and we can add read like this, right? And then we can see that same change. So read got also added. Other way that we can add a user to a group is going to be using the group mod command, and we can do group mod like this. Okay, and then it's going to be whatever the user is. So we can do, oh wait, well, let's look. I have made some changes here. So let's do here. I was doing some testing earlier, and so we added some users here and here, but I wanted to show you, let's do super user and let's add Billy there. Okay, so the group mod command is one that we're gonna try, group mod. And then we were gonna do, let's do the U, and then we can do Billy, then we can do A, and then we'll append him to the super user. Yeah. Super user account. Okay, here we go. Super user account. Okay. And then here we can see Billy here on this account as well. Okay. To just check what group a user was in, what we can do is simply, there are a few ways to do it, but the easiest way is just to do ID, and then you can do whatever user. Okay. And that's one way to see if they're in multiple accounts. Again, we can look at the Etsy group itself, which shows all the appended users. And then one thing to remember too, for example, here is that this is Jose's primary group, this user Jose. And then these are all the supplementary groups, or what we call supplementary groups. Okay. Now, the last thing that we're gonna do is we're gonna do the group delete. So we're just gonna do man here. Group delete like this. Okay, group delete, simple as, and it's going to be delete a group. There's a few options, but not much. And then we just can pick one. We'll just do one. Let's do this. Let's do super user for Billy, because of Billy's there. So if we look at Billy now, right, we can say Billy. We can see Billy's in super user and he's in staff. So we want to delete this super user group, and then we can do Billy, or not Billy, super user. Okay. Perfect. And then so we can ID Billy again. We can see it's gone. But again, to verify, we can check here. Okay. So you can see that's gone. So now we're going to continue the conversation about permissions, and we're going to be talking about set GID, and we're going to be talking about the sticky bit. And then so in this case with set GID, it's going to be very similar to set UID, in which it's going to elevate your privileges whenever you execute the program, or that sticky, or not the sticky bit, but that set UID is set. And then we're going to have the set GID is going to be the very same. And I have here, it's going to be any user who runs that file does so with the effective group ID of the file's group owner, not their own. This is often used to grant temporary elevated group privileges. So that's what's going to be for set GID, very similar to set UID. But in this case, we're going to focus on the collaborative part of it, where we set it to a group, or we set the ownership of the directory, and then every file and subdirectory it's created under that directory is going to have that group ownership applied automatically. Okay, so in this case, we're going to first start with creating the group that we want to have ownership over a certain directory that we want to collaborate with other people for. So the first thing we're going to do here, like I said, is going to be creating that file or directory, and it's going to be, we're just going to call it share folder. We'll just call it share folder like this. Here we'll put it in the root like this, and make sure you're root when you're doing this. And then the next thing that we're going to do is we're going to do, and then is create the group that we want. Okay, so we're going to do that. So let's do group add, and then we'll just call it share G like this, or share GRP. Okay, like that. And then now what we're going to do is we're going to change ownership of that group, or we're going to change ownership of that directory to that group. So we're going to change own like this, and then we're going to do root, and then we're going to do share group like that. Okay, and then we're going to pick that folder, okay, like that. And then we're going to make sure that that changed. And we're going to do share folder like this. Okay. And so we can see that changed. And then some other things that we're going to change for the permissions now is we're going to do change mod like this. So G plus S. And then we're going to do the share folder like this. And then another thing that we have to add here is going to be some write permissions. And then we're going to remove all the other ones. So we can set that like that. Okay. And then we can go back here and make sure we got the right permissions here. Okay. And then so the next thing that we're going to do is we're going to add users to this group. So we're going to do that by doing the user mod command like this. And we're going to do append group. And then we're going to do, what was the name of the group? We did share group, and we're going to put learner. And then we're going to put myself. And then we're just going to add Billy. Okay. And then that's good. And then so another thing that we can do, and just to make sure, is that we can do this. We can cat the Etsy file like this group. And we can see here this share group here. Oh, I got a cup in the way. We can do share group here, and we can see here that they've been added. Okay. And then so what we're going to do now is we're going to switch. Let's just switch to learner like this. Okay. And we're going to have learner CD into that share folder. And then we can see there's nothing in there. And then we're just going to touch file 1 like that. And then we're going to ls like this. And then we can see that file 1, the ownership is going to be share group like that. Okay. And then that's how that applies in this scenario. Okay. And we can do the same thing with another one, with another user. So we can switch to myself. Okay. And then we can CD to that share folder. And then we can touch a file 2. And then we can ls here. Okay. And same thing. It automatically applies that group ownership to that folder. So that's set GID for the directory level. And as we can see, it just automatically creates that shared group ownership for any file created in that folder. We can even try as well. Let's try doing a directory and see. We'll call it directory test1, and then we'll just list everything. Okay, and even the directories as well. So the next piece that we're going to talk about is going to be the sticky bit. So what this one does is that it's going to stop normal users from deleting other normal users' files. So the first thing we're going to do is we're going to create a directory here in root, and we're going to do make directory, and we're just going to say sticky dri like this. Okay, and then we're going to change the permissions as well to allow people to write in here, and we're just going to do change mod, and then we're just going to do 777. That's fine for this example. And then the next thing that we're going to do is we want to apply that sticky bit to the others. So we're going to do change mod again, and then we're going to say it's going to be O plus T. Okay, that's going to be the sticky bit permission. And then what we're going to do now is do the folder. No, not folder. Now we're going to do sticky. Okay, directory. Okay. And then now what we can do is we can ls ld and make sure those were applied. You see? All right. So now the next thing we can do here is switch to a regular user. So first we'll do me, right? And then we'll cd into the sticky folder. Okay. And then we'll touch file 1 like this. Okay. And then we'll ls. And then what we can see is if we just do this, we can see it's me, and we have the sticky bit there. or we applied the sticky bit, and I'm there. I created a file. And then what we can do now is switch into learner. So switch into learner. And then we can do the same. Go into sticky, the sticky folder here. We can ls, we can see that file. And then if we try to remove it, and we'll try to do it by force as well, we cannot remove it. It's not permitted, right? So one thing that we can do is switch back to root. Let's switch over to that directory. We'll cd to the sticky. Okay, we'll ls. And then what we'll do is change mod, and we'll do O, take away the sticky bit, right? And then we'll put here the directory. Okay, well, lsd, right? We can see that it's been removed now. No more T. And then we'll switch back to learner like this. And then we'll go back and we'll cd into sticky. We'll ls, and then we'll remove by force file 1. Okay, and now let us do it. So that's why we use the sticky bit. That's pretty much it for sticky bit, and that's for the other things in regards to groups. It's mostly about collaboration, and it's going to be about managing those permissions in those groups and managing those groups, like adding users and deleting them and something like that. Okay, so that's all I have for you. Thank you so much. Bye.